Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marcy. Thank you for clicking on that thumbnail. Always showing up, showing your girl some love. We're going to be talking about some fragrances that some of people in the fragrance community, most people in the fragrance community can't stand, and that some people absolutely love and that are head over heels. These are polarizing fragrances. These are obnoxious fragrances. Polarizing mean very unpleasant, maybe provoking strong emotions, maybe faces like ew, like oh, whoa, things like that. So most of these fragrances provoke strong emotions when sprayed, especially heavy, or just when sprayed in general upon the first spray. So please, if you want to know about these polarizing, obnoxious fragrances that I have in my collection, that this girl right here, this fragrance lover, absolutely love. I even love the note of civet in some fragrances. Love oud, and y'all, I'm waiting for that KAYALI Oudgasm collection, okay? Can't wait to get my nose on that because I want all the oud. I'm loving animalic, scents and animalic notes in the fall winter, y'all. Bring on the musk, bring on the body, bring on the beast, all of it, okay? So we're going to be talking about some fragrances that are polarizing to most and that people can't stand in this review. If you want to hear about these fragrances, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Turn on those notification bells. Hopefully you are subscribed and, show your girl some love. So without further ado, like I said, these fragrances provoke very strong emotion, sometimes faces, sometimes nausea. They bring on physiologic emotions as well. Nausea, headaches, all those good things, that our body wants to reject. So without further ado, let's get started with the first one. So this one is a discontinued fragrance, and this is by the House of Christian Dior. Like, you love or hate this fragrance. Okay, hands down. When I first smelled it, I love it. It is mental stimulating. I loved, it's an amazing tonka bean fragrance for me. And I also love the fruity facets on top of the mentally stimulating facets that are in this fragrance as well. And this is no other than FEVE Délicieuse. A lot of people hate it and a few people love it. So in this fragrance, there's a beautiful, it's like I said, it's a beautiful tonka bean, cherry tonka bean, vanillic, woody fragrance, but you also get that lavender and that mint in there that people sometimes hate combined. But for me, it's mentally stimulating. It takes me back to when I first started my YouTube channel and just enjoyed like lovely niche fragrances. And I absolutely love it. But the cherry, who would have thought to put cherry, tonka bean, mint, I think there's a coffee accord in here as well. Oh, but it's gorgeous and I love it. It's a shame that this fragrance has been discontinued. I do not know where you can sample it or purchase it. Maybe you may find this on the gray market or from some resellers as well, because like I said, a lot of people in the community, they had to blind buy this and they don't like it, okay? Anyway, get your nose on it. I love this, I like fragrances that stand out because I am unique and, uniquely, beautifully individual as well. So, and that is what FEVE Délicieuse is to me, you guys. Get your nose on it. But very polarizing. You have to spray this in transitions. A lot of these fragrances, you can't just like go in beast mode and spray like 10, 12 times. You might have to spray 5 or 4, then come back and spray another 2 or 4, over the course of about 30 minutes in order for them not to give you like a headache or nausea or vomiting, even to induce those physiological signs, from the obnoxious and the polarizing scents, you guys. So anyway, the next one is by the House of Rasala. I'm a little upset about this fragrance because my leaf broke off. I still have it. I'm going to figure out a way to put it on. But this fragrance, you guys, here, it's a beautiful rose oud fragrance. But the chocolate in here, there's some citruses, like some lemon in here that's really screeching and striking in the opening. But this dries down to a beautiful, slightly gourmand leaning rose oud fragrance with chocolate. And it smells like there's a little bit of cherries or strawberries in here as well in this fragrance. But it's silky, it's creamy, it's sophisticated. It smells Middle Eastern. It's divine. Now, in comparison to Oud Bouquet, they are very similar, but Oud Bouquet gives you more of a praline vibe, like a toffee praline vibe. And this one gives you more of a fruity, almost a berry-esque fruity vibe on top of the rose oud and a slight citrusy scent. but I love it, you guys. It smells like straight Middle Eastern with a little bit of Western oud, you guys. You all get your nose on this. This is Rasala, and I think this is by Rasasi. But anyway, I'll list it below. Arabian Oud, Rasala by Arabian Oud. I love it. And it's more affordable, but it's very similar to, like I said, Lancome's Oud Bouquet. And if you cannot find Lancome's Oud Bouquet, then you might want to try Rasala by Arabian Oud, you guys. So the next one, no introduction, okay, and this is by the house of Initio. And when I tell you I love and hate this fragrance at the same time, I do. And sometimes it makes me nauseous based on the amount of sprays that I spray. So this is Initio's Oud for Greatness. You guys, I love Oud for Greatness. But if I spray too much, it makes me sick until it dries down, y'all. So a beautiful saffron fragrance. It's woody, it's airy, it's fresh, but you get a heavy dose of saffron in here. Saffron and woods in this fragrance. I'm not going to talk about this for too long because we all know there's so many dupes of Oud for Greatness out there. On top of, I think ORIENTICA has one. Al Harmain has one, but everybody, literally there's Haultain by the House of Parfums de Marly that gives similar vibes to Oud for Greatness as well. Absolutely love this fragrance, but I do have to watch how I spray and spray it in small doses and be intentional about where I go when I wear this fragrance, because you can't just wear these fragrances anywhere, especially Oud for Greatness. Know that you're going out on a cold winter day, maybe a faux fur jacket, or New York, you know, someplace like that, Connecticut where it's snowing, and then you can spray on Oud for Greatness maybe 6 times. But other than that, if you're in warmer climates, then you may want to spray Oud for Greatness on twice or 3 times max, y'all. Get your nose on it. In California, I'm a 3 times max with Oud for Greatness. Once on the neck and 2 on the wrist, and I'm done, y'all. So the next one is a designer, and this is also by the house of Dior. And a lot of people don't like heady white florals, but to me, this dries down very creamy, vanillic, you know, slightly gourmandish leaning, orange blossomy. And this is Dior Addict, you all. This fragrance will always be in my collection because I absolutely love it. I get the smell of orange blossom, some white florals in here, a lot of jasmine. It smells of tuberose. I love this fragrance. It almost gives, like, you know, the Tom Ford, what is it, Noir Parfum. It's giving those vibes, you know, the Kulfi, the Indian ice cream. That is what Dior Addict gives me, you know. Smells very similar to Tom Ford's Noir Parfum, but this one's a little sweeter. Actually, Noir Parfum is about the same sweetness. But this one is a little floral, warm, spicy, y'all. I love Dior Addict. It will always be in my collection. I love it. Very feminine, femme fatale, very heady if you don't like heady white florals, but creamy and rich, and it can be obnoxious and just a little overbearing in the opening of the fragrance, y'all. Get your nose on this, but I love it the same. I love a heady, creamy white floral with slight sweetness, you guys. Get your nose on this. Ooh, it is good, but you get a lot of jasmine in here, y'all. All right, the next one sometimes make me nauseous. It makes me sick to my stomach depending on how much I spray. And yes, I've had this fragrance for years, but y'all, I may spray this 4 times because it can be a little too much. Now, its counterpart, the EDP, I absolutely love. But the EXTRAIT, y'all, can be nauseating at times. And this is, let me dust the bottle off. This is MFK's Baccarat Rouge 540 EXTRAIT, okay? So it's nutty. It's just loads and loads of saffron. A lot of these saffrons that are really obnoxious and heady, a lot of these fragrances have loads of saffron inside. Saffron is a beast of a fragrance note, okay, to put inside perfume. And I think that's what makes it a little polarizing with the overuse in some fragrances, or just as the dominant or the top note in some fragrances. Maybe saffron should not be a top note or a middle note. Maybe it should always be a base note in some fragrances in perfumery. So anyway, beautiful almondy saffron, gorgeous, a beast. 4 or 5 times max on this fragrance. It's polarizing, you know, in your face, can cause nausea, Get your nose on it, but I absolutely love it. I do love the EDP more than I do love the Extrait, okay? So if you want something a little more fresh, airy, slightly sweeter, you know, more for the summer and the spring, I would go with the EDP. And if you want something for the fall and the winter, actually maybe preserve this baby for the end of the fall, winter, then you may want to go with the Extrait. Get your nose on it. Yeah, I still got a lot of juice, y'all, because I hardly ever spray this when I do wear this fragrance. And this is Baccarat Rouge 540, the Extrait. I never talk about that fragrance. I think the last time I had that fragrance on a review was years ago, you guys. So the next one we're going to talk about is one that a lot of people I see on here declutter, okay? Because y'all, you guys only like the EDP, okay? Put your bootstraps on, you know, don't be a wimp, okay? Wear this fragrance, okay? No, I'm not going to say a wimp, because sometimes I am wimpy as well when it comes to certain fragrances that are polarizing and that are too heavy, and that give me a headache, okay? So this is by the House of X Nihilo. I love, even Brompton Immortals I love, but even the one that I just purchased, you guys, I cannot even think, my brain. That one was polarizing, and I decided I'm going to go with the EDP instead of the Extrait. But anyway, we'll talk about that when I get it. So this is, all of y'all like the EDP of this version, okay? And the EDP is nice, but the Extrait, you got to have a specific nose for the Extrait, okay? And this is Flora Narcisse, and this is the Extrait, you guys. Y'all, yes, it's creamy, powdery, peony, florals, pear, all that good stuff. You know, smells of ylang, you know, that they love using in their fragrances. But I love Flora Narcisse, the Extrait. It's so rich. And yes, you can only spray this fragrance a certain amount of time because it will knock you off of your feet, okay? It's slightly powdery. It's almost abrasive. If you spray too much, you may choke if you spray too much. Yes, the EDP is a little airier. You get a little more florals in the EDP, the peony, but you get a lot of fruits in this, a lot of dense fruits, rich vanilla, creaminess, on top of the just richness and powderiness as well, y'all. I love the Extrait. Stunning, gorgeous, rose, peony, pear. Get your nose on this fragrance. But yeah, there should be a warning label on this Extrait. There should be a warning label on all of X Nihilo's Extraits, because they are polarizing. They are a beast, and I cannot wait to get my nose on Brompton Immortals Extrait. Gold Immortals, that is the fragrance that I was talking about. I love the Gold Immortals EDP. I love the Extrait, but when I tell you it was a beast and too polarizing and obnoxious in the opening, y'all, it was too ambery. I was like, ooh, but the dry down was stunning, okay? But I'm gonna have to see if I'm able to wait until, you know, like 10 minutes later to get that dry down on that Extrait, because the Extrait was holding, okay? And it's absolutely beautiful. Gold Immortals Extrait. But Flora Narcisse, I love as well. All, like, y'all know, X Nihilo is in my top 5 favorite fragrance, in my top 5 favorite fragrance houses that I absolutely love, okay? Anyway, get your nose on this X Nihilo's Flora Narcisse Extrait. Another one is also in my top 5 favorite fragrance houses. Very polarizing, okay? There is one that people say it's polarizing, Vanilla Royale Sugar Patchouli, but I don't find it polarizing. It is beautifully delicious to me. But this baby right here, because of the patchouli note in here, y'all, it's a beast. This was my very first KAYALI fragrance that I bought years ago when it was released, and I love it. It's the best juicy, one of the best juicy apple fragrances on the market. Rose, apple, and loads of patchouli, y'all. This is the Extrait. It's funny how all of these bottles that are polarizing, they're in, all of these perfumes that are polarizing, they're in black bottles, y'all. Yeah, maybe that's telling us something. Beware of black bottles, okay? There should be a warning label on black bottles, okay? Anyway, KAYALI Elixir 11. I want to say 12. Elixir 11 is patchouli heaven. Patchouli, it's red, juicy apple. and it's rose. The combination of those three, no, it doesn't smell like Portrait of a Lady, okay? I absolutely love. But the apple in here, this is like one of my favorite apple fragrances. It is very linear, it is polarizing, and it's a bit obnoxious if you spray too much of it, because you are going to spray this or smell this over your entire body for days. You're gonna smell this if you spray this on your clothes for days, okay? Anyway, I love it. It is one of my top fragrances. It is my top in my top 5 fragrance houses. I love the House of KAYALI, and yeah, they have some amazing scents, y'all. And a lot of y'all complain about the House of KAYALI performance. Well, try this one, because you will have no problem, and that is if you are a patchouli lover. But the apple and the rose in here is stunning. Everybody complains about, not everybody, a lot of people complain about their fragrances, even the musk and the citrus. Even Yum Pistachio Gelato, I had no problem with. That fragrance lasted in my laundry basket for 3 days, wafting in the air in my bathroom until I went to wash my clothes, you all. So maybe it is not the fragrance. Maybe it is your nose, okay? So I'm going to put that out there, okay? Don't blame it on KAYALI. Blame it on your nose. Blame it on your stress levels. Go get your hormones checked. You know, all of that good stuff, what really helps. Go get your, if you have sinus issues, you know, or if you had like nasal surgery, you need to get those. Or if you have adrenaline issues or hormone issues or things like that, or what else? Strokes or hypertension, things like that. It's always going to affect your olfactory senses. So a lot of people say that they can't smell anything. Go relax before you do a review, or go relax before you smell a fragrance. You know, just, you know, chill out. Let the blood flow to those olfactory nerves so that you can get an optimal smell, and not blame it on the fragrance house, y'all. Because I don't have any problems, never, ever, with the longevity, or maybe it's how you spray. Spray a little more of KAYALI Fragrance House. So I just wanted to put that out there because, like, I'm over it, okay? So get your noses checked. Relax a little bit, all right? Enough of the rant, okay? So moving right along, when I did say that did not smell like Portrait of a Lady, Dominique Ropian, okay? And this is Portrait of a Lady. Now this fragrance, when I sprayed it, I almost got rid of it because I thought it was a bit too much and it was strong in the opening. When I tell you I sprayed it and I went to bed, you know, later on that evening, this lasted on my sheets for a week until I washed them. But when I smelled it on my sheets, when I got back into bed that morning, because I was working night shift, when I did wear this, which was last December, I was like, oh, Portrait of a Lady smells amazing in the dry down, but it is polarizing. That patchouli, that rose, that incense, the raspberry gives it a little bit of an edge, which makes it very beautiful, and it cuts the sharpness of the fragrance, but it's still polarizing, and you can't spray too much of this fragrance. It almost gives me a little bit of an olive oil scent too as well, but I love it, you guys. I love it. It almost gives me like olive oil, raspberry, rose, patchouli, you know. It's gorgeous. Portrait of a Lady, get your nose on it. I think Portrait of a Lady will probably always be in my collection, even if I have like a 10 ml travel size or sample of it, because I think it's a staple in a fragrance, not a collector, but a fragrance lover's collection, you guys. The next one is a designer and is almost annoying to me. I like it and it's annoying at the same time. And this is by the House of Burberry, and this is Burberry Elixir. Y'all, the sandal, there is something in this fragrance that annoys me, but I really like it. It's giving sandalwood strawberry milkshake, okay? But that milkshake is just too much, okay? So anyway, I don't know what it is. It's slightly synthetic. There's some synthetic vibes in this fragrance that is annoying me a lot. I don't know if it's the jasmine or... Oh, y'all, it's good. But when I wear this, I can only spray it about 4 times because it's super polarizing. It smells slightly synthetic, and I love it though. It's gorgeous. It's creamy. It's fruity. You know, it's berry-ish. It's woody. But y'all, I love it. This is Burberry Her Elixir. And yeah, polarizing, obnoxious if you spray too much. And yeah, spray this in small doses, okay? The next one is one that I didn't buy for a long time and I refused to. And I had a lot of greedy fragrances, but y'all were like, oh, this is the best cherry. This is the best cherry. And I was like, what cherry? Okay, the cherry is in the base, okay? But you guys, anyway, I found a good deal. But the reason why I love this fragrance is for the polarizing saffron. This fragrance, I don't know if it's an allergic reaction or what, but this is by the House of GRITTI and this is DUCHESSA. This fragrance does something to me. It makes, if I spray this fragrance too much, I feel like I'm almost having an allergic reaction, y'all. It's really spicy. It's warm. It makes my body hot. It makes my skin hot. I wore this fragrance one day in Canada. I was going to say Amsterdam. I wore it one day in Canada and it almost gave me a headache. It became annoying, but then I loved it at the same time because of the saffron note in here. I was like, is it the cherry that's spicy or is it the saffron that's making it super spicy? You get a lot of other fruity, deep red fruits in here as well. It almost smells a little berry-ish or pomegranate, like a rich, deep pomegranate cherry juice in this fragrance, but I love it at the same time and I hate it at the same time. But I do know how to spray this fragrance after wearing it a couple of times, you guys. Anyway, this is by the House of GRITTI and this is DUCHESSA. Anyway, my phone is getting a little low, y'all, but we're almost done. The next fragrance is a new fragrance to my collection and this is by the House of BDK. No, it is not Gris Charnel because it's not polarizing. Even the Extrait I absolutely love. I love Passé Soir, the EDP, but to me this Passé Soir Extrait is polarizing. It is not transitional to me. It is pretty linear. What you spray in the opening, which is a lot, you get in the dry down. I wore this fragrance maybe twice and I oversprayed once the first time and I was ready to go home and scrub it off my body. I do love it. I love it a lot, but I know how to spray because if I spray more than 4 times, the cacao in here, the quince is powdery. I think there's some iris in here. The patchouli in here is patchouliing, but I love it. It's fresh. I think there's a melon note in here as well. It's gorgeous, but y'all, it can be annoying if you spray this a little too heavy. So I'm like, you don't even need a whole bottle of this. That's how beast mode and heavy this fragrance is. You can have a 10 ml and that 10 ml may last you for about 2 years. So y'all, sample this fragrance. No need to purchase the whole bottle off top, unless you can find it on sale for a good deal because y'all, it's polarizing and I was making myself nauseated. I was like annoying myself when I wore this fragrance. And y'all, next time I know how to spray it. But it won't be like my usual 10 to 12 times that I usually spray this fragrance. No way, Jose. The next one is by the House of Sillage, and this is Batman. Now, this fragrance kind of gives me similar vibes of... except this one smells like it has a little bit of oud in here. And I think it's a red candy apple oudy rosy scent. And it's beautiful. But ooh, y'all, it's nauseating if I spray it too much. Especially if I spray it too close to my neck in the opening. I probably have to spray this, spray maybe 3 times and then go back and spray it another 3 times and then I'm done. This is Batman by the House of Sillage. This almost gives me vibes of KAYALI because of the patchouli, the rose. This one has like a red crunchy candy green apple, like that hard candy on the outside, but a green apple. So that's what this has in it. I think there's marshmallow in here as well, slightly sweetened rose oud candy apple fragrance. But it is very similar to this. Like if you put a little oud in this and this one and put some marshmallow in this one, they'd probably smell very similar, you guys. But anyway, Batman by the House of Sillage. I love it, but y'all, it's a lot. So last but not least is one that is new to my collection. I absolutely love. I know I need to do a review on all of my Orienticas and I just dropped the top. But anyway, this is Amber Noir. Now, some people said that this smells like the bottle is stunning. It's gorgeous, with the top on it, okay? Some people said this smells like Santal 33. I got a little bit of the woodiness from Santal 33, but I got a lot of fig and elemi in this fragrance. And Lily of the Valley. I love the note of Lily of the Valley. It's earthy. It's almost cold. It's fresh. It's really dark. It's rich, y'all. This fragrance is a wintertime fragrance. I love it, but you definitely get that fig in here. This is one of my earthiest, if that's even a word, fig fragrances that I have in my collection. Some of the fig fragrances are creamy. They add a little bit of sweetness. This right here is not sweet at all. It's earthy fig. It's a little cold or cool. It's a little gothic smelling. It's dark. It's rich. You know, it smells a little, the Lily of the Valley gives it a little bit of like that wet, woody greenness, as if you're walking through the woods and it's wet and it's damp and it's earthy, slightly green with a fig note, like a purple fig or maybe a green fig note. Not really a purple fig note, because I think purple figs are sweeter than green figs. So maybe a green fig note, you guys. But the LME in here makes it creamy. When I tell you, it is too much when you spray it on, and it is lovely at the same freaking time. Like, I love this, but the dry down, y'all, ooh, it is intoxicating. It is beautiful, and it's a beast. It is unisex. It is unisex, slightly masculine leaning because it's super woody. And yeah, I do love it. I love it a whole lot. And like I said, I wear this fragrance to bed. I woke up in the morning the other day and then I got back in the bed. I was like, oh, this smells good. And it is still on my arm, lasting 10 hours, okay? On clothes or on my sheets, it lasted for days, like 3 days, okay? I got back in my bed. I said, what did I spray? And why does it smell so good? It was this baby right here, Amber Noir by the House of Orientica. But when I tell you, one of the most polarizing, it's like a oud for greatness, polarizing, obnoxious fragrances that I have in my collection. This right here, this be the one, okay? And this is Amber Noir. Get your nose on it. All right, y'all, go on to the world, spend amazing, sillage, do good, be good. Tell me what's your most polarizing fragrance down in the comments. I would love to hear about them and love to maybe even sample them because, y'all, we love all things fragrance over here. Go on to the world, spend amazing, sillage, do good, be good, and I love you all. Bye-bye.